Good morning, everyone. This is UPV News. Today is October 7th, and we are talking about brainwash. Okay, what is brainwash? It's the intent to change a mind radically so that its owner becomes a living puppet. The aim is to create a new mental mechanisms with new beliefs and new thought processes inserted in a captive body. Recently, it was considered unworthy of scientific attention, the product of a group of conspiranoids, or even like the result of political circumstances. But the brainwashing is more than all of this. The brainwashing is a practice that tries to control the actions and reactions of the human mind. This method is considered a complete invasion of the individual privacy and seeks to control not only how the people act, but what they think. The concept of brainwash is linked from the beginning of the totalitarian states with deeply political purposes. This term is by itself was retrospectively applied in the Nazi techniques and is also referred to political programs in the communist China and Korea and was used in the search of information from the American and Japanese prisoners. This with a systematic and often forcible elimination from a person's mind of more established ideas, especially the political ones. This practice is invoked when we don't have any explanation for some people's acts, when we are facing an irrational or extraordinary success, like an apparent massive suicide, or the sympathy of some kidnapped victims for their captors. The brainwash is an explanation for these irrational human acts. The brainwasher aims for total control over his victims' world. There are many methods to achieve this. The purpose of the brainwash, like the breakdown of the captives with mental and psychological torture, but the force is not essential for this practice. Many cults woo their members with love, comprehension, and empathy rather than brutality. This involves the mystic manipulation that takes place with the moral and spiritual unconscious. Not often the results are the same. The coercion of the individual humanity and make him a puppet of the perpetrator's purposes. Then we will meet a time traveler, Felipe.
Hello everyone, I'm Andres and I'm a time traveler, but nobody knows. Well, today I'm visiting 1950 and to catch up on what is happening for these days, what better than a good newspaper? Oh my god, what is this? Seeing now? Living puppet? Human robots? That is possible? What is that? I say, let me tell you what is happening. Someone named Edward Hunter wrote about a supposed hypnosis process. He uses a very particular term to define this.
See now.
A Mandarin word that in our language means brainwashing. At first, he accused Mao Zedong's Red Army of using terrifying ancient techniques to turn the Chinese people mindless communist automatons. Wait a second, it sounds familiar to me. Oh yes, I remember when I visited 1953, 3 years after today. I remember there was talk about 1,000 of confessions to outlandish crimes during the Korean War. If I am correct, the only explanation for those crimes was the supposed brainwashing. Also, I love one movie from this year, The Manchurian Candidate, who showed people whose minds were controlled by outside forces. And now I realize that it reflects the idea of mind control. I went to see this movie with my friend Robert J. Lifton, who is a psychiatrist and who believes that brainwashing includes two things. One of them is milieu control. It means have absolute power over the individual's surrounding. and the other is confession, in which individuals are forced to confess the crimes by forced standing, deprivation of food and sleep, and solitary confinement. Finally, they stop worrying about how brainwashing works and conclude that the human being is weak. Oh my god, I forgot the MK Ultra, a series of psychological experiments by the CIA. But I don't know what happened with this project after this. So the best thing is to visit 1953 and look for someone who tell you what happened with this project. See you soon.
Hi, my name is Andrea and today we're in 1953 and we're talking about MK Ultra project. The United States feared that Soviet, Chinese, and North Korean agents were using mind control to brainwash US prisoners of war in Korea. And MK Ultra came up as a CIA behavior control program which resulted from the Korean War and the Cold War. The experiments began with LSD, then evolved, and the program committed human rights violations by using different kinds of drugs such as MDMA, heroin, methamphetamines, and many others. Also, torture, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, different forms of torture, and verbal and sexual abuse, involving children, prostitutes, unknowing individuals, and many others who did not give consent to participate. More than 150 human experiments were carried out, all of them used to manipulate individuals' mind state. Although psychological manipulation does not require the use of drugs to alter and control the psyche of individuals and populations. For example, activating an alarm to warn residents of the possibility of incoming nuclear weapons may be used as part of a psychological experiment to analyze the level of fear among those affected. Or, for example, the deployment of subtle, irritating sound frequencies might damage a soldier's eardrums and lower his morale. Many of these tests were conducted at universities, hospitals, or prisons in the US and Canada. The goal of the MK Ultra program was to improve war techniques such as torture, interrogations, and brainwashing by the US government, and it went from 1953 until about 1973. So now we're going to talk to Isabella. She's going to talk us about a similar project. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody! Now we are in 2021 in order to expose some cases about Seonji Church. Seonji Church of Jesus is a denomination for a new Christian religious movement established in South Korea by Lee Man-hee. It is considered as a cult by mainstream church and it has about 320,000 members. Along the years, the church has been in the center of controversies due to statements made by former members. They explained that at first they are invited to a worship night by a relatively close person like a university friend, and later joined Bible study classes which were held multiple times a week. Each class was comprised about 8 people. 4 were newbies, and the other 4 were existing members pretending to be new recruits. The members also had to give money to Seonji and bring more members to the church. Nevertheless, Seonji encouraged them to quit their studying or work, telling them that there was no use in finishing school when the apocalypse is coming soon. The church has its own calendar and will hold large-scale events filled with their followers, all built around the personality and power of its leader. Kim Eun-kang, that has now left the set, said, Lee Man-hee said he possessed the spirit of Jesus. When he was shown in TV or in public, I would just start to cry. I felt some aura around him. I quit my job and I devoted all my time to the church. I also started to live with them. I could not think by myself, I just listened to what I was told, follow what I was told. I would perform like an actress and promote their religion to others. Thanks everybody, now let's go with how.
Okay, so that's all of today's news. I hope that everyone enjoyed the video. This was UPB News and have a nice day.